All right, let's look at the homework 12.1, problem number 5. All right, so we want to find an equation of the sphere with center 3, 11, negative 11, 3, and radius 5. All right, so let's do that first. So this is pretty simple, right? So all you have to do is x minus. All right, so this is going to be our x0, and this is y0, and z0. Right, and this is the radius, so r value. So x minus x0, which is 3 squared, plus y minus negative 3, negative 11, so it's going to be plus 11 squared, plus z minus 3 squared, and you have a radius, so 5 squared. All right, so let's type that in first. So the equation we have is x minus 3 squared plus y plus 11 squared plus z minus 3 squared, and radius squared, so 5 squares, 5 squared. How about that? All right, so let's check the answer. Submit for testing. All right, it came back and looks like we got the equation correctly. All right, so let's look at the equation to describe the intersection between this sphere and the coordinate planes. All right, so here's how it works. All right, so we want the intersection with the xy plane. All right, so remember that the xy plane equation is z equals 0. All right. Then, so if you look at that, then you have, let's see, we're going to plug in z equals 0. So everything else stays the same. So you have x minus 3 squared plus y plus 11 squared. All right, now we put 0 there. So it's going to be negative 3 squared. So that'll be 9. All right. Actually, sorry, I messed that up. So this is going to be an addition there, right? Addition, right? Then this is equal to 5 squared is actually 25. All right. So this is actually another circle. You can see that they have x minus 3 squared plus y plus 11 squared. And I'm going to subtract the 9 from both sides. So this is going to be, let's see, 25 minus 9 is 16. 16 is 4 squared. So its radius is going to be 4. All right. So let's type in the answer. All right. So answer is going to be, all right, x minus 3 squared plus y plus 11 squared, so nothing changes, but this is going to be equal to 4 squared, right? Then also we have to make sure that the z value is going to be 0, since it's going to be on the xy plane, right? So let's check the answer first, right? Submit for testing. All right, looks like it did not like my answer. Maybe I might, let's see, maybe they didn't want this z equals 0 sitting there. So let's try this. Sorry about that. So submit for testing. All right, it came back and looks like that was the problem. But having a z equals 0 is not incorrect, but the system didn't want to take that as the right answer. So that's fine. All right, so let's do the other ones. All right, so the approach is exactly the same. So we want the intersection is xz plane. So which means that the equation is going to be y equals 0, right? So we have here, so we're going to put the y equals 0. Then it's an interesting thing happens here. X minus 3 squared. All right, so if you put 0, so that's going to be 11 squared. I'm going to put that 11 squared there. And then I'll leave z minus 3 squared is equal to 5 squared. All right. Then you notice that here, if you subtract 11 squared, right? You're going to get x minus 3 squared plus z minus 3 squared. And this is going to be equal to 5 squared minus 11 squared. But you notice that this is actually going to be negative value, right? So this equation actually doesn't make any sense because the left-hand side is both squares, so it cannot be negative, but the right-hand side is definitely negative. So, which means that this equation does not have any solution. All right. So why is that? Why is that? Why is that the case? All right. So the problem is, if you look at the distance between the xz plane and the center here, and the distance is going to be 11. But radius is only 5, so it actually doesn't even touch the plane, right? So answer is going to be does not exist, D-N-E, right? So let's put that in there, right? D-N-E, right? So let's check the answer, submit for testing. All right, it came back and we got that one correctly. All right, so last one, same approach. And in this case, a YZ plane, so you're going to have x equals 0. All right, so we plug in x equals 0 in the equation, so you're going to get 3 squared would be 9. Plus everything else stays the same, y plus 11 squared plus z minus 3 squared is equal to 5 squares is 25. Then, just like before, I'm going to subtract 9 so that we have y plus 11 squared plus z minus 3 squared is equal to 25 minus 9 is 16. So again, it's 4 squared. Right? So let's type that in. And we have this equation. It's going to be y plus 11 squared plus z minus 3 squared, and radius is 4, so 4 squared. All right, so let's check the answer, submit for testing. All right, it came back and looks like we got this one correctly as well. All right, that's it. I hope that this was clear.